What's up, fam? Welcome back to Recap Kickback. It's me, your host, Chappell, and I'm here to take you through another episode of the podcast where we talk about media, movies, TV, pop culture, and we try to keep it as black as possible whenever we can. Again, I'm Chappell, and with me, per usual, to talk about all the things and our big movie of the week, Rebel Ridge, it's Mari. Mari, what's up?
Hey, Chappell. So glad to be back. I feel like we took a little bit break, I did. I don't know if y'all know, but I was on the beach in Cancun chilling.
Right.
So,
you was on vacation.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I got to catch up on this week. So I'm so glad to talk to you guys about it.
Yes, we have a lot of things to catch up on this week, and we're going to make sure to take that time as well. And so we got a heavy docket, and we have Rebel Ridge to talk about. So we got to get Mari caught up, and we brought in some special guests that you all are familiar with from the past. We brought in from the Was It Good Though podcast, Jason and Jazz. What's up, y'all?
What's going on? Thank you for having us.
What's good? What's good? I see you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I buy about I buy about a gallon, I buy about a gallon. Yeah.
Okay. We gonna talk about that. We're definitely gonna get into the baby oil and all the other crazy stuff because I don't want to jump ahead too far, but we got some big headlines. But thank you all for listening to the podcast. Yeah, thank you for subscribing because it's about to get real here on Recap Kickback every week. Mari, I think we're gonna take some time to kind of focus on the things that happen in the media that we don't have time to dive into because a lot of the things that happened this last week, I think, could have been its own podcast.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad I was out of touch because when I came back, I was like, "What? TIto Jackson? No!" Like it was a week, to say the least. So I'm definitely glad we're here to all process it together.
Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and get in front of that. TIto Jackson has passed away at the age of 70. I swear I would have thought TIto Jackson was older than that. I don't know why, but 70 years old is pretty young to be just dying like this. But people dying that ain't never died before, Mari. So, we had TIto. We had TIto. We had the loss of James Earl Jones, Rich Homie Quan, and Frankie Beverly, all within the span of like 10-ish, 11 days. Jazz, wow. What's your reaction to some of this? Because they say it happens in threes.
They do, but this is more than three. So I'm just like, is it something in the air, like trying to double up? Because normally you see stuff like this. Of course, people, not saying that, people die all together, but normally going towards the end of the year. And so it's just seeing all of this. And like you said, like around 10 days, just get y'all sage and pray, y'all. Life is short.
Life is very short. Life is very short. Did you have any of these deaths that stood out to you the most? Like, which one of these would you say hit you the hardest?
I'm going to say James Earl Jones because he asked me, Jason. That's my answer. Because you had the same answer. I think he's judging because I had a connection to Lion King and Coming to America. Two movies that you just have a hatred for, my brother. But we're not going there.
We can definitely take a second. What you got? Not liking the Lion King and Coming to America is about as anti-black as it can get. Jason, explain yourself.
It's giving MAGA.
They just not it for me. I prefer the live action Lion King called the Black Panther. That's a better movie to me, in my opinion. Secondly. James Earl Jones almost 100 years old. I hate that he passed away, but he's lived a life. It was time for him. Jesus was probably walking with him, was like, "You ready?" Like it was time. It was time for him to come on. He was already there. He was already in the what was the not the Goblin, the Great Beyond. What was it? What was
Lord,
it?
The Upper Room?
No,
the ancestral.
The ancestral plane. No,
he was already tiptoeing between. I'm like, shit.
Oh no,
Mari, we lost James Earl Jones, and as Jason has eloquently pointed out, 93 years old. This man is a legend of stage and screen. The Lion King, Coming to America, but so many more. Do you have a favorite James Earl Jones role?
Of course, the King and Coming to America is up there, but you can't disrespect the voice. He's the voice of Darth Vader. You know, like you get like iconic, just one of the most iconic lines in history. I am your father. That is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like he's had such a storied career. And so, you know, he deserves all the flowers he's getting as he, you know, on his home going.
Yeah, a lot of discourse about James Earl Jones in these last few days, but
yeah, that's
you know, not all positive, you know. But you know, we grow, we evolve, and then we move on to someone a little bit more positive. Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly has passed away as well, and this was the one that got me. I felt my chest cave in. What? I said, Lord, did he make sure he was right? You know, because like you gotta make like he had all this time. I've been to a Frankie Beverly concert, and I mean, at this point in the concert, like in the touring, we singing just as much as he is. You know, like we know every word, but also he not hitting the notes like he used to. So it was like, yeah, you know, it's like before I let you, and then he kind of go to the crowd for everybody else, like y'all done, yeah, you know. But it was so cool because you know this man makes music for Black folks. You know, I know that Frankie Beverly plays the Black people in the room. We gonna have a reaction to it. So this was a tough one for me. Jazz, I see you nodding your head. Are you a big Frankie Beverly fan?
I mean, this is the #1 song that you would normally play at a family reunion. You have to. And so and I just recently had mine. Yeah, like all of that. So it's just a blessing to be able to have artists like that leave so much great project for us to remember them. So.
But it's a breakup song. Why are you playing at a wedding?
I mean, well, did they play that wedding at the reception?
Do we care? We do. We don't care.
That's just us, man. You got a good beat to it. You don't care. I done shot my grandma, and
right. I mean, one song that's like a #1 wedding song, like, and it's like a breakup song. Oh, Pretty Wings.
Oh, Pretty Wings. Yeah, that's another one. That's like,
yeah, that's so.
You're not supposed to play that at your wedding, but you know, now at weddings we playing Freaky Ass Nigga in 69 God. Freaky Ass Nigga in 69 God.
I was in Cancun for a wedding. They came into the reception to not like us. Like that is
it's crazy. I was in my volleyball game and they playing it. I'm like, man, middle school going crazy to a pedophile. I'm like, God damn.
If you can't call a grown man a pedophile and during middle school sports events, when can you do it? You know, where else could you go? So, you know, Frankie Beverly lived a great life. Obviously a legend in the Black community, but probably a legend in music. Like when we read the history books years from now, people are going to be like, oh yeah. And then Frankie Beverly showed up. And I like to see that, you know, he was getting honored everywhere. Like New Orleans definitely went up for Frankie Beverly because he had a standing appointment at the Essence Festival for years. I remember just being in New Orleans 4th of July weekend, not even going to Essence. I just happened to be there, and everybody walking down the street wearing white linen suits from head to toe. You know, I was like, God dang, it's hot in New Orleans in July, but y'all committed, man. So you got to pour one out for Frankie Beverly. I'm gonna miss the guy. You know, like I said, been to the concert before, but also when I hear the songs now, they're gonna hit a little different. You know, Golden Time of Day, that's my shit. So, you know, definitely had
Golden Time of Day.
Oh, my bad.
Wow. Moving on. Mari, Rich Homie Quan passed away as well.
Yeah.
And we saw his funeral proceedings. They were open to the public, and it looks like on September 17th, so earlier today, they actually brought people in to the World Changers Church International in College Park for the visitation. And the services started at 11 o'clock. So I was looking at the pictures and stuff. It looked really like beautiful. But seeing Rich Homie Quan pass away, it's just like, you know, in your mind, you could probably reason with 70-year-old TIto, you know, 70 Frankie, 93. But when you get to Rich Homie Quan and you're like, dog, this dude is 34 years old and he's no longer with us. It's sad.
It is. And it there was, I'll have to find it, but there was like an article about like the lost generation of rappers, like all of these rappers that are dying at this age. You know, I don't know what Rich Homie Quan died of.
Wasn't great.
Yes. But
is there a great death?
I mean, look,
Well,
you can die in old age. You could die, from something that like was unavoidable or something like that. But it seems to me like this was an overdose of
an
sorts.
overdose. I think that's what I heard. Yeah, like there's a generation of rappers like his generation, like that have been dying of overdoses in the last like 6 years or so. Well, we got Juice World, like, and then on top of the ones that were losing from drug use, we're also losing ones by like murder,
Gun violence.
yeah, gun violence, Takeoff, Nipsey,
what's that boy name? Extentation. That's how you say
well, yeah, Extentation.
It's too many letters, it's too many syllables, too many X's in there. Extentation is what I boy.
Yeah, it's that whole middle generation that is just like, wow. Like, and you don't really like stop and realize it. Like, y'all think about it. It would be like, so we lost Biggie and Pac, right? And that was like huge, right? And then like, but they're losing their like all of their people. It would be like if we lost Biggie, Pac, Jay, Nas, like
like all at the same time.
Dre, like all at the same time. Not an equivalence of artistry or anything like that, but I mean, just like this is a lot of rappers that are like dying, and I mean, sorry, I put on my adult hat here. Fentanyl and drugs of abuse, like it's not a game. Like shit is being put in drugs that you just cannot comprehend. The US is not stemming this epidemic at all, and it's not being pushed into the narrative or the conscious of the country as much as I think it should be. I personally know people who like died from fentanyl overdose when they thought they were buying weed gummies. You know what I'm saying? Like, please be careful out there. That's all I'm just saying. Is like, please be careful out there because it is not a game. There's so much floating around that you just might not know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the funny stuff.
No. Well, okay. Well, Jason, Jason, I know you keep up with a lot of the music and the hip hop as well. Seeing Rich Homie Quan die like this at such an early age, what did you think?
I mean, we're the same age, so it hit. Yeah. It definitely hit. That was like leaving college during that time. So when his music was actually popping, that was something that we listened to, we played all the time. So it was something that was very relevant to it. Like him, he's passed away. Young Thug is in jail, possibly facing a life sentence. And even before that, I know it's outside of that realm, but shit, I'm in Arkansas, so Texas was a big thing for us. So B King, like when I came to Arkansas, and he died of, I want to say it was a heart complication, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever it was, he passed out. Yeah. He passed out and he died in front of his kids. So it's just like, I just went and got to, make sure you guys go get your wellness checks. Kind of like what Mari just said. Like she got her adult hat on. Shit, go take care of yourself. As Black men, as Black women, we have to take care of ourselves as best as we can. So it's a very important thing. So we got it on all sides. The gun violence, you got the violence in the streets. You got health complications. You have drug complications. One of them is avoidable. For sure. The drug issue, the drug use, that's avoidable. It's something that you don't have to do as far as your health. I mean, honestly, that is something that is avoidable. I can't say as far as how you work out, but as far as what you eat and what you consuming, that's very important, man. We gotta. I'm trying to get to the great beyond with James Earl Jones. I'm trying to.
But like in my 90s.
Darth Vader.
Get your 90s. And Jason, you just reminded me. Fat Man Scoop.
Scoop 50, he was like 50. Just like right at 50.
And he collapsed on stage, I believe. I heard.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. So many losses, but especially like you said in the hip hop community, again, it's like in your mind, some people like, oh yeah, they lived a long life, but 34, even 50, you're like, what are you talking about? These people had a lot more to go and a lot more to give, but you gotta take care of yourself. Jason's gotten his back a little bit smaller, and so now he's preaching. And he said that. He said that. Like he said that. I report the news. I don't make it. Jazz, what's funny?
You know what? That was a good one. Damn, he got your ass on that one, skinny man.
That was an Uno reverse, guy.
Nah, Jason, you let him stomp all over you, man.
Wait a minute, Jazz, stop instigating. Do you have any final words to say about any of our fallen artists or or these actors or these people that, at the end of the year when they do all the award shows, we're going to see those in memoriam type situations, and we're going to sit there and say, dang, I forgot they got such and such. Oh my God, such and such died too, because it always happens. Right. And we got to take time to give these people their flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just continuing to watch their projects, listen to their music, keeps their spirit alive, because we think of all the people that passed in the past and how we still watch them and then, give appreciation to them. So I think that's the best way to let their spirits live on through their projects.
Yeah. And I didn't want to yada TIto. I know I started with TIto, but TIto, listen, TIto didn't used to, when I was growing up, I remember TIto was a joke of the Jacksons. They'd be like, oh, you TIto. Yeah, like, he's just TIto. TIto, there is no Jackson 5 without TIto, okay? He was sneaking in that room learning the guitar. You ain't gonna find no, we gonna talk about the Jacksons here on this podcast. We ain't gonna do nothing else. And so TIto went in there and he really did learn that guitar and was really part of the reason why the Jackson 5 and ultimately Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, they were all so successful. And it starts with people like, the elder Jacksons, so we love Michael. But without the sacrifices and the commitment of his brothers and his family, he wouldn't have got there either. So shout out to TIto. That one hurt too, Mari. I was like, dang, TIto.
Yeah, and it reminds you that like Michael was so young when he died. He was 50 when he died, and that was 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like the time is crazy, but poor TIto. It did that, and I heard it was sudden and all of that. So definitely go get yourself checked out.
And I was saying, when you look at stuff like that, not to stop you, Chappell. When you look at stuff like that, like at first, you really don't realize what it looks like. But then I'm looking at it now, like my parents are 50. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh shit, that's what that, that's what that look like. Rich Homie Khan, 34. I'm 34. So it's like when you start putting it in perspective like that, it's like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we're gonna move away from the death because that was kind of dark. But let me tell you something. We're not going to move away from Michael Jackson just now because I think it's Jazz. I'll start with you because Jazz, you do a really good job of keeping your ear to the street of what's coming out. I know you have posted before that. Aren't we supposed to get a Michael Jackson docuseries or something like that coming up? Like every time I look up, they adding people to the cast. When is the release date for this movie?
So I believe it's dropping in December. I think they're doing it around Christmas, but I haven't seen any kind of trailer for it because Nia Long is playing his mother, and then Domingo was playing. And they took a picture. I'm not gonna lie.
I do remember hearing this.
Like the picture of them, they look good. And I'll be the first to say, because me and Jason had this conversation, I was just like, I wasn't sure how I would feel about Nia being Catherine, because Nia brings that strong personality. When it's just like, I was like, was Catherine like that? That strong personality. So I wasn't sure how she doing that role, but I mean, visually, it looks great. So they saying it's gonna make a Billy.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Oh really?
It's Michael Jackson. It's gonna do that. It's going to do that. And it's gonna do that just off the name, off the strength of the name. So they're gonna have to do it justice when they bring it into the film. And they're gonna be like, I didn't see the Whitney one. I know some people enjoyed it. I saw it. People didn't. The Aretha Franklin, I didn't watch that one, but I hear a lot of people praise it. But I see. I mean, but you see them. You know what I mean? So if they did NWA, they did NWA some justice.
I did like that one, even though I left out some things.
Yeah, I bet that. Why is the nigga still around? Go ahead.
Right. Weird case, Drake, but whatever.
People numbers getting pulled lately, so
right.
The Whitney one felt like a flash forward of her life. It was weirdly paced. The acting was good, weirdly paced.
Yeah.
Did you see the One Love, the Bob Marley?
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, I was going to watch it, but I believe it was Jason and Jazz who told me not to.
Nope, just Jason. I enjoyed it.
Okay, somebody told me not to watch that. I'm sure it was Jason.
Trash.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because Jazz was like, it wasn't so bad. Jazz.
I want to fight Ziggy Marley. Put it out there. Put that in the energy. I'm sorry, but I got to see him.
And before we move on, Mari, I did find the picture. There you go. Look at that. Like that's Coleman Domingo and Nia Long as Joe and Catherine. And so, you know,
that boy he look like he whooped some ass. Look at him.
Oh yeah, he definitely put hands on people, hands and feet.
He aiming to be hated.
Yeah, this is one of them roles that you're gonna be hated from, but you know, people respect the like success out of it. You know, they're like, okay, well, maybe certain things had to happen so you to have the greatest pop star in you know, of all time, greatest musician of all time, artist of all time. You know, sacrifices must be made. It's gonna be hard to watch, but I'm very excited because these two actors are some big names, and they have plenty of big names on that list. It's always popping up, and I just never see any type of like, okay, when is it gonna come out? Where are we gonna watch it? Where can we find it? Is it going to theaters, Jazz?
I believe so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be amazing. Oh, the last good one was not NWA, but New Edition. That's the last.
That was good.
Yeah. We might have to bring back the biopic conversations because those are always fun.
The New Edition was great.
Yeah, those are always fun. Okay, so next up, I've really tried to avoid jumping here too quickly.
You can pivot from New Edition. You saying the boy from Empire? You know, he been wilding.
None of my business. Okay, so we go.
None of my business. That's none of my business.
None of my business.
None of my business.
Look,
you're dropping the new meaning.
No. Just no. That's all I can say. All right. So Ryan Destiny is a big name out these days. She is coming up in a movie, and I've been seeing a lot of advertisements about this one as well. I believe it's about her being a boxer. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here, Ryan Destiny? But I've seen the trailer several times, and it's called The Fire Inside with Brian Tyree Henry from Atlanta. Mari, have you seen any trailers for this movie?
No, I haven't. And shame on the industry for doing absolutely nothing. You know how they do it. Ryan Destiny. Oh my God. The girl is beautiful and can act. And you know what? I don't like boxing, but I'll go and see it.
There we are. Yeah.
That's interesting. Christmas Day. Okay.
Christmas Day. The Fire Inside. Yeah. Oh, I've been seeing a lot of the trailers recently. I think they just dropped the theatrical trailer. And so it's been kind of like in rotation on commercials and stuff like that. Jazz, do you plan on going to see this one?
Absolutely. Got to support Black movies. So.
And she fight like you do?
Wait a minute. What? Like what? Where did that come from?
Because you be fighting.
I know her boyfriend was saying, "Come, just like support some of y'all be talking about it, but y'all gonna see this and y'all gonna change y'all tune." I'm like, I mean, I only know her from Star. What else? I mean, I listen to her music. Let me not say I don't know who she is. I'm familiar with Ryan Destiny, but acting, I can't say. I can't say.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what this is going to be like. Mari, definitely check out the trailer. I'll make sure I send it to you. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you haven't, get into it because The Fire Inside is coming soon. And it does look like it's going to be really good. You know, I think that we got to go support these things. Now, Christmas Day, I'm probably not going to be there Christmas Day. But it's going to be some people there Christmas Day to catch it. And I'm hoping that it makes a little money too. Because we got to support these Black movies and films because they're not going to do it for us. And that leads us to our next topic. Mari, we had the Emmys, and this year at the Emmys, you know, I was very excited to see some of my favorite actors and actresses come out here and take awards for my favorite shows, specifically Abbott Elementary. The moment they pop up, they're like, okay, Abbott's going to get a few nominations for this. You're going to have a couple people but you're going to have some wins in the Abbott category. Abbott being in the comedy category is great for Abbott because it makes total sense. But also in that category is The Bear. And there's a lot of controversy over if The Bear fits in this category at all.
No, right. There's nothing in that makes you laugh. You're not laughing at all. Like that show is so stressful. You might laugh and chuckle once or twice, but people know that series is not a comedy.
Yeah. It's a dark comedy.
Dang,
it has its moments. And this year, Jean Smart won for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, which this is her third time winning out of 4 years for Hacks. I heard Hacks was really good. I haven't watched it yet, but like Quinta snatched it from her last year, which is why I think we all thought it would happen again. But then Jean Smart came roaring back and got it again. But my biggest thing, I think a lot of biggest thing was Ayo Adibri from The Bear was finally bumped over to the Outstanding Lead Actress category so that her co-star was in the supporting role and she won.
Oh, you're talking about Lisa Cologne Zayas. That's who you're talking about.
Yes. She won for Best Supporting, which shout out to her. But now Ayo didn't win anything. So it's very interesting that like The Bear and Abbott, which won so much last year, is now like didn't win. Well, at least for the black for the black one,
black folks, yeah,
didn't win this year.
Yeah. So Abbott in the past has gotten, it looks like about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or somewhere around 8 nominations a season. So like 2022, about 8. They won 2. They won Outstanding Supporting Actress for Shirley Ralph. Quinta Brunson wins for writing. They end up, Quinta, obviously, like you said, wins for Lead Actress in a Comedy Series in 2023, but she was the only one who won in 2023. And then this year, they were completely shut out. A total of 8 nominations again, I think. 8 nominations, no winners. And I was shocked because if you're listening to this, you know that we talk about Abbott Elementary. G and I talk about it. We will be talking about the upcoming season. And we think that Abbott deserves his Emmys, but people like The Bear. Jason, is The Bear a comedy?
It's not. I truly, I feel like they put Bear in it. They put The Bear in that category just to snub Abbott. That's my personal belief, because The Bear, the awards that The Bear won for was season 2. We just left season 3, so like they're not even winning awards for like the current show that we're watching at this present time. Now that's not to say, because I don't know what Abbott had nominated, so it could have been season 2 and not season 3. We just we watched, so I don't know how that worked. But as far as it being like a lead, like it's the tones of the shows are completely different. It'd be different if it was apples to apples, but it's completely apples and oranges. It's not. It is. So The Bear won out basically for the 30-minute sitcom TV show in comedy. They won all those that 30-minute, and then they let that bullshit Shogun win all the hour.
Wait, pause. You don't like Shogun either?
Hey there now.
Shogun was overrated. It started strong and it ended terribly.
Okay.
Shout out to the Japanese community for winning their first. It's funny, we still in 2024, we still seeing people
still doing
winning first. When it comes to it, and I feel like it was once that show came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is the shoe-in. The show that was supposed to be a limited series, is now getting a second season. They won the most awards, and like I truly don't know why. I'm just saying, when I'm watching it, because it's a show about conversation, and I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what would, what could, and how he's playing 8-dimensional fuck that. Kill somebody, knock some heads off, the people are killing themselves more so than people was killing them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. Like I gotta die by honor. So either if I don't kill him or kill myself. No. We ain't doing that. We not like Snowfall didn't get no Ghost didn't not Power didn't get no. How many
Interview with the Vampire season 1?
Interview with the Vampire season 1.
Let's talk about that.
Listen, if they don't get nominated for season 2,
season 2 sweeping. It needs to take it all.
It needs to sweep. It has to.
Damn.
We shall see. But those are good points. We see shows that are not necessarily comedies winning in the comedy realm and kind of stopping some of this Black excellence from shining through. And then we also see shows that might necessarily not be well received by everybody, but you see things that might be more well received by us, not really getting the play. That's what we do here, right? We highlight these things.
Yeah. I personally, I really liked Shogun. I will give it to you, Jason, though. The ending was terrible. I was like, are you... once you get to the ending, you're like, oh, so this was just a 12-hour rub and tug with no finish, because what's happening? Because
it was a finish.
We ain't even got to P. Diddy yet, Mari, so please stay on task.
Oh yeah, my bad. But yeah, no,
take that.
We have to point out the greatness of our shows, because again, we cannot depend on these white award shows to do it. We don't even have time to talk about the snub of the century with Beyonce not getting any country music award nominations.
We might need to set aside some time if y'all really wanted to break that down. But snubbed again, and so it's like they're not going to appreciate our artistry. Then we got to go out of our way.
This shit was intentional, man. Oh my God. Anyways, oh my God. All right, let's go. We gotta move on.
But now the thing with my last Emmy take. I don't hate Zendaya, but I understand now, and I should have been championing her a bit more to keep on winning them fucking awards from them white people that they was giving. I should have kept on rooting, but it wasn't even her fault. It's the writers that can't get it together, and they keep trying to make the girl show a body, and they keep trying to make the other girl be bulimic on screen, and she said, I ain't with that. So
yeah, Euphoria is ridiculous.
I don't watch that nonsense. Also, when is it coming back? Is it coming back?
Not 2026, they're saying.
Them kids gonna be older than me. Them kids older than me.
It's a
5-year jump.
Yeah,
no, they got
it's gonna be a 5-year. Oh,
I
okay.
think so.
They might get me back with that.
Look,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be tuned in.
I'm gonna be tuned in. Yeah. if I can be tuned into that janky ass weekend ass shit that they put out and watched it for 5 weeks.
I don't hate watch TV.
That was the only thing I've ever hate watched. It was the only thing I've ever hate watched in my life. But it was like a slow motion train wreck that I'm like, I have to watch how this ends because this is ridiculous. And it was just insane. It was so bad. The Weeknd should get his ass beat for that. Honestly, it was so bad.
But that new album about to come out. I'm ready. Okay, just throwing that out there. True. He been breadcrumbing me about this album. I need to see that. Okay, so give him some space. Let him cook.
Slap. It better slap.
It slap.
I'm such a Weeknd fan, but he's too corny. He's so corny now. Oh my God.
He's growing on me now. Back in them early days when he used to sing, I wasn't down. Well, he stopped trying to sing as much. Now he kind of in his like he kind of in that little synth pop. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I don't like that. To tell me you love me. I don't need that.
I love that. That's my that's my
the coke scene.
Yeah. Last thing about The Bear before we move on. I've seen the most recent season of The Bear. It better not win nothing.
Super mid.
It better not win nothing.
Don't spoil because I did not finish that.
I'm gonna just say that I'll be the one. I'll be the one boycotting. I'll be boycotting from outside the building. Yeah, that's me who wasn't even invited. Boycotting the Emmys because I just didn't see it for that season. But we move. We got more to talk about. I'm glad you brought up music. We were just talking about The Weeknd, a former Super Bowl performer. And we have an announcement. We have just in time for the Was It Good Though podcast people to come back. Sometimes you got to pop out and show somebody, okay? And so we got Kendrick Lamar has been announced as the Super Bowl halftime show performer this year, and Jazz niggas is mad.
They are so upset.
Yes.
The timeline was in shambles. And I'm like, y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Y'all cussing out other people. Like, it should have been Wayne. Kendrick ain't shit. They just mad at Drake. I'm just seeing all of this on the timeline. And I'm like, why are y'all arguing with people? It was ridiculous.
Because you who have not been named came out and started calling Jay-Z the boogeyman like they always do.
Oh yeah, we don't mention her here because we can't do that here because they're gonna be in the comments fighting for listen. We love her too. We do. She's amazing. I really loved she was kind of wrong. She was wrong as hell.
You didn't see the last post when they dropped it is Jay-Z who make the
she's still wrong because I just don't understand how she made this about her. Ma'am, the first tweet I seen was to take out your you hate us so bad. Me and Birdman. I was like, you like
why did you add yourself?
Right. She made sure to let y'all know. Okay. I was like, all right.
I just saw Lil Wayne perform at WrestleMania this year.
How was it?
Keep it. I sang more words of a Millie than he did. Like they're not. I'm sorry. I don't. We're doing too much for y'all to hear Hot Boys. Like I don't know. Like I don't.
Don't pop that pussy for real, nigga. Like that's what y'all want to hear at the Super Bowl.
It's just like, right. What could he actually perform?
A Millie.
He definitely.
That's what I'm trying to hear. That's what I'm trying to hear.
Oh, Lollipop.
Yeah,
that might be something good.
That's another one.
Right
I like Lollipop, but dude, I'm not saying Wayne doesn't have hits. I'm just saying he's not a performer. I'm sorry.
If you get Wayne from 10 years ago, then I would think like that.
There we go.
But like Wayne today, like that news, it broke him. But when he saw all those people fighting for him, it put him back together.
That's when he lost me. That was the moment he lost me. When we saw the crying video, I was like, all right, let's just be guided here. Okay. Let's not lose track. Let's not lose the plot. You know, Lil Wayne, I understand you wanted this, but you brought this up. Wayne 10 years ago would have been a little bit more like feasible, but also Wayne 12 years ago, the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, Lil Wayne, and it wasn't you then. And I didn't see all of this, you know.
No, it was the greatest Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah, and Beyonce tried to steal it from us. Mari, what's up with your goat? Why she make the lights go out?
Because she's that good, and she
but what about us?
We still won. It doesn't matter.
We ain't won nothing.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. We now 0-2, y'all. I just can't. But anyway,
I can't do it.
I can't do it right now.
My team.
Yeah. You with us in the trenches.
I don't know nothing about them trenches. I don't be there.
Are you putting like you got a bang?
I did like hair. Yeah, I flip my hair back. I don't know. I don't be over there. It's ghetto. But what I was about to say is, we cool on Wayne. Shout out to Beyonce. She got it 2 or 3 times. And what I want to make, because everybody keep on skipping over the point of it was 12 years ago, it's been in New Orleans, it was this many years ago, it was in Houston, all these people. Rappers weren't headliners. So that conversation is dead. It just became a thing. It just became a thing with Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was the first one they did it to, and guess what Dr. Dre was there when he was the headliner? That's why the fucking I be forgetting. I'm not on my podcast. Let me.
No, you're fine. You're fine here.
But
you're fine here.
But he was in LA as the headliner, and he had fucking Kendrick Lamar on this, and then they fought to bring 50, and they fought to have 50 Cent on the show. Like it was a whole thing. So I'm just saying, like when people saying it wasn't, why wasn't all this, bro? It wasn't a thing. We black people. I remember, nigga, you remember I used to skip the halftime show every year until they started making it interesting.
What was that? Like 8 years after Janet? It was just white man. They made sure nobody could flash anything. Yeah. The only bright spot we got in that stretch was Prince. And that was
a good one.
Okay. Yes, I agree. Points of clarity, as someone who has been in 2 Super Bowl halftime shows, thank you. I will point out that two of them, both of them.
He's a baby.
Yeah, you see me. And look, and was right there on stage. Okay, call it what it is. But what? Okay, so as someone who was in 2 of those things, I will say that the first ever headliner like that was a rapper for the Super Bowl to have a single headliner. This will be Kendrick Lamar. Dr. Dre was headlining with 4 other people, as we know, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent, I believe, and Eminem. So it was a whole slew of people. But you're right, that did set a precedent where people thought, hey, well, Dr. Dre got to be in his hometown. Why can't we do the same thing? So it makes sense for people to want Wayne. But I think, again, my point here is that this might be a little bit overblown. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just to, make this a little spicier, if this was a covert attack on Drake from Jay-Z himself. Look at Kendrick. You look at my boy, okay? Because we talked about this way back when. I said, this man is the boogeyman. Drake don't want it with him. Bigger than the what? Super Bowl, right? Drake turned down the Super Bowl. I think the reports have said that he's turned down the Super Bowl twice. But they didn't say as a headliner. They just said the Super Bowl. So it could have been Drake anything. It could have been Pastor Drake.
Come on.
Shakira.
It could have been. It could have been.
Cut that out.
Like you just said, Jason, we just started doing this.
No.
We just started doing this. Nicki Minaj has been at the Super Bowl before, but she was back up to Madonna. You know, it happens. So I'm just saying.
Drake.
Look, Dr. Dre shared the stage with Kendrick, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and 50 Cent.
You think any of them people bigger than Drake?
Kendrick.
No. Okay,
well, let's check out. Let's check out Drake's Super Bowl performance this year.
We can't. Hey, you can't see Kendrick. You can't see Kendrick this year neither. If we going off this year, we can't.
This season,
neither one of them.
Yeah, this season we'll see who's performing at Super Bowl halftime show. I think they might give it to the bigger artists this time.
Don't forget, I'm a Kendrick fan. I'm gonna be there. I'll be there rapping, not like us. Hey, Jazz, don't play with me.
You was calling him Kenny like a couple of months ago.
He is Kenny.
No, it's Kung Fu Kenny. You gotta say the whole thing. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing or it's disrespectful.
But didn't Usher pretty much headline last year?
Usher did headline.
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely.
He's a singer.
All right. Now look, all these contingencies. It's a rapper, so it got to be in their whole.
We said
it was a reasonable request, but that does not also mean that everybody else is like outside of that rapper like parameters. Okay, like Usher didn't do this in Atlanta. The Weeknd not even from here.
I was about to say,
Canadian.
He did.
It was in Vegas. It was in Vegas.
Yeah, it was in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's almost like it. That's almost like a second home for us.
That's basically Canada.
All that money. He done brought with.
It was so funny because I was the same. At first, I was like, "Oh yeah, people have been doing it in their hometowns," and then James looked at me, was like, "No, it was only Drake." I was like, "What about Miami?" Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "But oh no!" Like it was like as you go down the list, it's like, "No, people normally don't do it in their hometowns." Where did we get this thought process?
So,
when that stupid time it was Justin Timberlake. Oh, and he did that disastrous tribute.
That's the first one I was in. That's the one I was in.
No, we're not doing that. That's hometown hero. Hometown hero.
No. Boo.
The most famous Super Bowl of all time, and I was right there. Yeah, that titty popped out, and I said, "Yep, there it is." All right, now. We've talked about the Super Bowl. We've talked about some of these upcoming films and movies and things like that. We have to talk about probably the biggest headline of the week, P. Diddy. P. Diddy has been arrested, Mari.
Yeah. The feds arrested him on like sex trafficking. Oh my God, it's so, like I think
racketeering, prostitution, across state lines.
Yeah. It's bad, and not only that, but they proposed a $50 million bail to the point where he paid off $18 million on his house. To put his house up for collateral, his house in Miami, which is worth $48 million. He surrendered his passports and his whole family, literally his whole entire family, his adult sons. I think they got the little baby girls too. They all co-signed his bail. They all surrendered their passports, every single one of them. And the judge still denied that bail. And he has to sit his ass in a cell. Like, they asked for a $50 million bond. I have never heard of a $50 million bond. And then for the judge to be like, no.
To still be like, no, your money's no good here. Your money is no good here.
Rot, sir. Like, that's what the judge is like, go rot in that cell. Like, that's crazy. The state don't even want your money. They say you're going to pay for these crimes.
They was watching videos like, oh, this nigga ain't coming home.
Yeah, they saw the footage. I thought this man had fled. Jason, how did they catch him? Because I thought he pulled a Russell Simmons and was out of here a long time ago. Why was he just sitting there waiting to be arrested? He knew this was coming.
He was getting his last hooray. that was his last one. He knew he had to turn himself in, so he was just kicking it one last time before he had to turn himself in. Like what?
That's what I heard too.
You can't going on a run is kind of hard for real.
It's not. Look at Russell Wilson. I mean,
Russell Simmons.
I don't think they really want. I don't think they really want Russell Simmons. If they wanted him, because he's been here. He comes here. He comes to
back.
America. They don't want that man. They don't want him for real.
No, I think they do. I think they're lulling him into a false sense of security, and then they're gonna gotcha, bitch, one day.
They're gonna wait till he shows up to Run's house, and they just go kick in the door.
Man, but nah, you can't get him in. You can't get him 10, 15 years down the road. You know how much living this man has done in between that time. Don't give him that much freedom. Catch him.
You got to go get him.
Put him in a cell.
Bingo.
So from what I understand, Diddy was like they said he was just like strolling around Harlem, like they're like that dude knew he won't see in the light of day, but he did all of that in preparation. Like he surrendered his passports like back in April. He did all this stuff with his house like in June, so he was trying to look good so he could qualify for bail. So it's just funny, like he kind of did everything you should do if you want bail, but they're like, no, your crimes are too heinous for us to let you out. Like that's absurd to think about.
You can just hear that Law and Order like doom doom in the background. Because he on the way out. Jazz, are you surprised by any of the allegations and any of the news that is coming out about P. Diddy since all of this started to transpire?
I mean, I feel like we were getting breadcrumbs for a while. So we were kind of just waiting until the chips fell. And Cat Williams told us at the beginning of the year.
Oh, God.
I mean,
not Cat.
Get like the party. You got to tell him no.
You got to tell him no.
It's like Cat Williams pretty much let us know, but it was, I knew something was going to happen soon as he put a settlement on that lawsuit from Cassie within 24 hours.
Yeah,
because that was a lot of money and that was really fast. And I was just like,
but that was last year too. So let's not really give Cat too much.
Well, no, Cat's seen the writing on the wall.
Right. I mean, plus he had mentioned it in the Shannon interview. So it's just like you seeing all of this stuff pop up. So I mean, seeing it actually unfold, and now everybody's coming out with different lawsuits, and then bodyguards talking about he dropping this audio clip of dick smacking balls and all of that other stuff. It was kind of wild. Timeline has been kind of wild today.
They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube at this man's home. Jason, where do you keep 1,000 bottles of baby oil? The way I imagine it is like, you know how he used to, what was it, like Ciroc? He has like a baby oil cellar. You know, he walks in and he like tested them on his own, like, all right, yeah, that's a good year, you know, because how could you possibly utilize all that baby oil?
Did you ask how would you utilize it?
I would
1,000 bottles?
So I would put it under my bed. I would put mine under the bed. Some in the shower. It's gonna be normal spots. We're gonna be on some slipping and sliding around this bitch. We're gonna have some fun. I'm putting it in every hole.
That's what Diddy said.
Oh no!
Did he do it?
He probably would have a bouncy house and spread the daggone baby oil in there.
Oh my god!
You got to use that. If you buy it in bulk, you got to use it.
You got to. Niggas and women are just falling down for him.
Yeah, well, it's nasty. Mari, you brought up the reports. 1,000 bottles of baby oil, amongst other things. I think they listed at least 7 different types of drugs.
Including a pink powder that they think is some form of ecstasy or something. Yeah. I think that powder was mentioned I think it was mentioned in Cassie's case, I believe. And the case with his male employee as well.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, I can't think of that name, but yes.
The fact that it's 1,000, I'm so mad because like at Howard's homecoming, we had a notorious party called 1,000 Bottles, and now I'm never gonna be able to think about that.
I had all that baby oil at Howard. I knew it.
It was not baby oil. It was 1,000 bottles of liquor. And
didn't P. Diddy go to that school? That's where he got the idea. They've been doing 1,000 bottles since day one.
They have not.
There's something you want to
not graduate from our school.
But he went there though, right?
We have
That's where he
given
got the
him.
idea.
We have given him his money back. Do not associate with him.
Howard, that said, it's gotten weird. It has. P. Diddy is going to jail. I have said this before on different podcasts, but I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast. If P. Diddy has one enemy, it's me. I've always said this man was a villain. I've been saying this my whole life. Mari's nodding because she knows. I've always, prior to Cassie coming out and saying the stuff, I have been, just because if you track the careers of the people who have worked for Bad Boys, every time it's like this man takes their careers into his hands, and then he just lets it just like fizzle away, and then they all end up in like some really kind of off situations where they either get like super religious or die or disappear off the face of the earth. I'm talking Biggie, Craig Mack, like these people just like, Black Rob. And then you got the stuff that happened with Shine. Mason became a pastor, I think, twice, and now he's not a pastor no more.
Yeah.
Where is Total? Where is 112? Where poor Faith Evans? Poor Faith Evans. You name it. Their careers came and went so quickly, or you almost never heard anything. I mean, we've mentioned Cassie. I can name 2 Cassie songs, and Cassie was on that record label for 10 years. Yeah. You know, like that man just was like, I'm sorry, Cassie was on that record label from 2006 to 2021. So up until 3 years ago, and we don't have nothing to show for it. Diddy has been a criminal, at least in business, for a very long time. Nobody has anything positive to say about him. And I'm honestly concerned about what might happen when people start snitching, because now you about to start putting people on the stands. I'm trying to see what Carisha about to say, Jazz.
I mean, I'm curious about what other names are going to drop, because a lot of people are saying, because when Usher was younger, he stayed with Diddy to get his career, Justin Bieber as well. So I'm just like, what's gonna pop
if you want to know what happened to Usher, it's in his behind the music. It's been an open secret about what happened to Usher when he was staying with Diddy. Like, I forget where I heard it, but yeah, Usher was exposed to all of these sex parties at 13. So it is not a secret at all. And I mean, I don't know if we're going to hear any bigger names, because honestly, I agree with the indictment. I think Diddy's the top of the food chain personally. I think he is the main one driving all of the enterprise. Now, yes, who's roped into it, as in who was partaking? Yeah, we'll see. They have him in a cell. We'll see what happens with that. In a sense of I hope this goes to trial. You know, I really hope it goes to trial. So we do figure out what the full extent of everything is. But
yeah,
you know, sometimes these cases don't. So, so Carisha, I don't know, man. She better delete some stuff, because
she chose the wrong time to hop on this gravy train. Like, this was the wrong time. Like, you copped it at the end. You should have been here a long time ago. You could have got in and out and been on about your way. You know, awful. If they put Carisha and Meek on the stand, Diddy's never getting out of jail. They might just shoot him. You know, like, because these people are not smart enough to keep this man secret.
Exactly. Carisha, and is that the other girl? Like, if you go back and look at Carisha and that other girl's feud, it looks real funny in the light now. So like,
and then of course Meek Mill.
They definitely meet.
Meek Mill.
Yeah. He the first one they going to, because he's just gonna start running his mouth. That poor man is not going to make it out of this unscathed unless he throw Diddy under the bus. And so I can see this either being stretched out for a very long time, like the Young Thug trial, which doesn't make any sense for this to still be going on. That man has been in jail for 3 years, and he has not had a trial. Like, he has not been convicted of anything and just been in jail. It's been 2-ish years at this point. Yeah, over 2. And he just sitting in there. Ain't been convicted of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff could happen, and I could very much see it.
And the trial's been a farce. It's been a farce.
They in there playing games and rap lyrics. So, you know, hopefully they handle the Diddy situation a little bit better. But to me, I think that wraps up all the big news this week. Thank y'all for listening to the recap of all the media and stuff that came across my desk this week. If you feel like you have something that you want us to talk about in the future, you can email it to us or add us on Twitter at Recap Kickback, or you can email us at recapkickback@gmail.com and say, hey, I saw this thing. Y'all should talk about it. And we'll bring it up and talk about the week's events as we recap those things before we get into our movie of the week. And now we have a movie of the week. Mari, the number 2 movie on Netflix is Rebel Ridge. And the funny story behind us talking about Rebel Ridge is that originally we really weren't going to talk about it. We were like, oh, okay, whatever. We got other things to, we got other things that coming and going. Is the timing's not right? Then Mari said, well, I think we got to talk about it. Maybe we got to talk about it. So we were talking it through. And Mari's husband, James, said, well, y'all talk about all the bad stuff. So, I mean, you would think you would talk about a good movie. And so I was like, damn, he makes a good point. So I reached out to Jazz and we were able to line this up. Mari, was it?
Yeah, I mean, we got shamed into doing this podcast, make no mistake, but like, it's his fault. Now he's dealing with a 4-month-old by himself. But like, does this count as a Black movie?
I think
Black
so.
main character.
Wait a minute, and it's got a Black kind of like savior.
It needs a black writer, a Black director. There's other things that have to be there.
It doesn't have any of those things.
Just one Negro.
It is. It's one guy.
Yeah.
But it was good. I liked it. I mean, I personally liked it. Now, were there some plot holes? Yes.
What do you think a plot hole was?
Why did he keep going back to that town? Like
that white girl.
Yeah.
Well, why?
She called him.
I mean, he because it was for him. It was about it's the respect for him. So he felt disrespected, and then he lost his cousin behind it. And like it was, he like you said, he said he should have left, but then I was just glad it wasn't the black woman saved y'all. Like, don't save the white woman.
Okay, maybe it wasn't plot holes, but it felt like 4 different movies. You can't tell me it didn't feel like 4 different movies. Like the opening itself, the opening itself was giving like Jordan Peele, like immediately just pissed you off. Yeah, the traffic stop. Then I'm like, wait, he's fighting these cops. His cousin's dead. Now he left and come back to. It was a lot, Jazz. Am I alone here?
No, I'm with you because I think it may be because the movie spanned over at least a week. So you had a lot of days pass through. It did. Because you saw him sleeping outside. You saw him sleeping outside multiple times.
Yeah, he stayed camping. For sure.
He was able to fish using his hand. I don't know if you caught that.
Didn't I say I be fishing with my hands though?
You don't. We go back to our first episode of the year. I don't remember what it was, but anyway. Because Jason said he could bear fish.
I can't.
You can't bear fish. But Terry was out there fishing, like cooking and everything. And I'm like, why didn't you just stay at Summer House? Because I think she would have let you stay there. Especially because she was trying to get your number. He was like, nah, I'm good. I said, that's right, Black man.
He gave it to her by the end. He definitely gave it to her by the end. Jazz, I'm surprised you kept up with the plot of the movie because I saw you tweeting about it, but you never once said anything about the movie. It was just a lot of pictures of this shirtless, light-skinned gentleman.
He was the plot.
That was the plot. That exactly was the plot because Jalen Hirsch just got engaged, so I support Black love. So now I have to fill in that lust space. So
shout out to the bros.
And Pierre, who is English, by the way. He's British. Yeah.
Chappell, you remember we were talking about British actors doing more American movies?
Yeah. Look, I'm not. More power to. We support everybody Black who deserves to be supported, and they support Black people, right? However, these Brits, they will switch that accent up and come. They're still in our jobs, Mari. Like all I'm saying, like, look, I'm not. Look again. How do we know these Brits ain't eating dogs and cats and pets and stuff like that? We don't know.
Hey,
I'm joking.
Chill.
Now, if I see them in less movies, I know who to blame because I'm gonna be like, see, you over here acting like certain individuals.
I'm just joking. No, he did really good. First of all, I had never seen Aaron Pierre in anything else. I think he was in the Underground Railroad, but I didn't watch it. And he was in Old as well.
That movie was bad. And
M. Night Shyamalan just can't do anyway.
He need his ass whooped. But yeah, he's of Jamaican descent, Aaron Pierre, and so again, switched that accent up, came in the gate, and I think he did a really good job. I thought it was a very interesting choice though for the leading character to be so anti-bloodshed that like his superpower is that he can disarm people. Like it felt like
okay,
if Batman was drunk.
Black,
I support it.
Batman shoot people. Batman shoot people. Okay, Batman will pull out a gun and shoot somebody. This man was unloading the bullets and then handing them to the cops. Oh, my Batman has a gun.
I was like, kill them.
Yeah,
that's what made it. That's what made it interesting for me.
Me too.
The person that can go to that limit and not go all the way. Just let you know how much restraint he really had in that situation. And you know, it actually was going to. Well, I think John Boyega.
Yes,
was
I was just going to say that. Yep.
What? Another
one.
Where are our Black American actors?
Look, John Boyega is dropping thirst traps.
The white writer and director was not looking for an American Black man for this role because there was plenty of niggas was like, let me tell you.
So. They said John Boyega filmed half of this movie and then just walked off set and never came back. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is. I love that if that's true, but I don't know how true that is. I think they are like in the middle of trying to like really assassinate John Boyega's character.
If they don't watch it, they don't care Joaquin Phoenix like that. They better leave John Boyega alone.
Exactly. But yeah, it was supposed to be him, and you know, love him down. But I think Aaron Pierre did an amazing job in this role. He just looked so cool, disarming the people. I completely agree with Jason. Like that was the highlight to me. Like I just wanted to see what these crazy things he's gonna do, and he did like most of those stunts himself. I believe I saw him say as well. Like.
He has that
shit was great
background. Yeah, they were talking about that. So I mean, that's another thing that I don't think John Boyega. I mean, I know he filmed half the movie, but I don't think they were too mad letting him leave. You know, he's like, all right, well, at least we can bring somebody else in who can actually do what we need them to do. Because you can't force people that John Boyega could do all the stuff we saw this dude do.
Especially, you sound like a hater.
I think he can.
I've never seen John Boyega do anything like this. So why would I believe that this is like something he been hiding?
And they called Tyrone. He was doing his own stuff. What you mean?
He was disarming people and
he was killing. He was killing.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's not the same. Is what I'm saying. This is a different set of skills, Jason. I'm John cool. He's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, but you know, I just thought that I thought this was a good role for this man. For my introduction to Aaron Pierre, I thought okay, this is dope. Like Mari said, he's doing a lot of his own stunts. What did you think about the premise of the movie that this man has now been forced to almost dismantle a police department in what looks like a sundown town? And that's it. They just been picking on him since the moment he walked into town, and eventually he had to get his revenge. That's pretty much the movie.
Man, I ain't like Roy since The Office. So when they even started off and he knocked my guy off the bike, I was like, man, what the fuck kind of? And it was, and I guess for me it was more of he didn't get mad. He didn't get mad enough, in my opinion, and not quick enough. Because the whole time he still was respectful. Like, at some point, it's not necessary. I can still be respectful, but you're gonna feel what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna keep on just bullying me out here, and you got all this plethora of moves in your arsenal. Nigga, go ahead, pull them out and use them.
Nah, his skill is de-escalation, Jazz. You know, his thing is like, I'm not going to let it get to the point where I got to talk crazy to you. He was calling these people sir. He was doing those things that everybody tell you to do. Like, if you're going to survive a police interaction, if the police ever knock you off a bike and steal all your money, here's what you got to do. You got to say, yes, sir, no, sir. You keep your hands on the steering wheel, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was the energy he was giving the entire time. But it was effective. It worked.
Yeah. I mean, because they were very aggressive towards him. And he was answering all the questions. And so I was just like, okay, two racist cops. because the other cop was ready. He was just like, "Do you want to get tased?" Who says yes to that?
Right.
But I mean, he was obviously the racist cop through the whole thing, the high level racist cop through the whole thing. So I was glad when he got his ass beat.
Yeah. Like it was really as if somebody put in the prompt into Chat GPT is like, what if a citizen can de-escalate a situation better than the cops with the cops? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, yeah, the poster of what you should do. And they still kept messing with him. And he was like, well, fine. Now I gotta just blow up y'all spot. And it was very interesting. But I hated the fact that like all of this is happening and the cousin like dies, you know, and it's just like you know,
that piece of it just seemed, I get it, it was the motivation, but then I wish they would have came back to it of the cops or who killed his cousin.
Yeah.
And that would have
yeah.
made him stay in the town rather than, oh, Summer called me, they gave her they injected her with drugs. If it would have came out that the police are the ones who killed his cousin, and then he had to get his revenge on that, I think that would have probably added a more interesting to the story, in my opinion. Because just to kill the cousin out of nowhere and them telling him, all right, but relax. You know, we both made mistakes. It was good people on both sides, but go ahead in there.
Our bad. We didn't listen to you, and your cousin died like you said he would.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tried to send him off.
Money.
Yeah, they've been using their dirty cop tactics to fund the town, Jason.
Yeah, they have. But I wouldn't have liked that. Like him coming back to do whatever, because it didn't make sense because they had already given him the money, and they had bought him the truck. They gave him the money, and then his cousin was dead, and there was nothing else for him to go back to that town for at that point. Everything was case closed, done. He's leaving. The only thing that would at that point would have been back was the one person that he was connected to that was holding him down and doing everything that she could to assist him, and it was her. So him coming back, I'm just glad they didn't make her a love interest outside of that.
It did feel like at times that's what they was gonna do, and it's just like I kept like thinking like, do you have to do this? You know, it's like you don't have to do this. Yeah, you know, like it would have just felt like it was forced because he was just riding his bike through town, and now he's gonna leave with like a girlfriend, like you know, like why? You know, let this man fight for his cousin and move on. But you know, I thought the setup was interesting. You know, you got this town there. The cops are so dirty that they are actually using the money that they're taking from innocent people, you know, and using it to buy weapons and to outsource the weapons for money. And they're trying to keep their police station from getting shut down and stuff. Like they can't get into no more trouble because they've been dirty for so long. So now they got this whole attempt to like, okay, we'll put these people in jail for 90 days. So we can erase the footage and all that. So it was like the smoking gun for Terry, the main character, was so loud. He couldn't ignore it. You know, it was like when he came back to help Summer, yeah, he was helping Summer. But the idea that these people basically getting away with the fact that his cousin being dead, and they've been mistreating him this whole time, and they got this scheme where they covering this stuff up, and the judge killed himself to make sure that he didn't have to say nothing. And they bought him a truck to make sure he would leave town. And they gave him $26,000 back. Like it was like, all right. Even I would have been like, well, let me see what's going on in here. You know, like it's gotta be something to this.
And it was like they were like, oh, they were taking the money and they're buying stuff with it, but also they were giving it back to the community and stuff. Like, oh my God, we were underfunded. When the hell have we ever met a police department that's underfunded? Even a rural one.
Yeah, well, they had gotten in trouble. That's why they was underfunded. They had put them sanctions on them finally.
I don't believe it. Like again,
this is made up. Y'all made that up.
Y'all made that up. They hardly ever see any repercussions when they do stupid shit, and clearly they didn't learn because they can't continue to do stupid shit. Like they're like, oh, we did something bad. We got punished for it, and to make up for it, we need to do worse things. Like we need to make the cover up bigger, in order to cover it. Like what?
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once it's out. You just got to deal with what you got, okay? And so they were trying to work the situation out, but obviously they had pissed him off to the point of pissivity that he wasn't coming back, right? He was going to go in there and shut this thing down. He had too much information, and I did like the idea of the movie that he de-escalated so well that I don't think there was any bloodshed on his part. I think like anything that happened to anybody, he shot a dude with a beanbag gun a couple times. That was pretty funny.
He tased
the guy. Yeah, but it was peaceful for the most part, as peaceful as it can be. And then we had big twists, depending on how many of the twists you agree are twists. We were told that Summer had an informant on the inside of the police department, and she got somebody help her. Now, the movie is leading us to believe that it's the black woman. We're seeing her off and on. Even given there have been moments where it seems like she should have been harder on him than she was. Maybe she's she's the informant, but plot twist, it's not her. She's not the informant. The informant is actually one of the cops that was in his initial spot when he got pulled over. The people that knocked him off the bike, the other cop informant, and
Roy, right? Was it Roy?
Yeah, Roy. Yeah, Roy from The Office.
Yeah, from The Office, and I'm like, for a twist, I'll take that. I definitely didn't see that coming. We've seen what worse twist, Mari.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed he was
right, because
the least racist of all of them. And that he was helping out. So it was good. I liked it. The twist of there expecting him in one area, and he's like, surprise, I'm back over here. Like, I enjoyed this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I like action movies. They're not really my zhuzh, but I thought this was done differently in such a way that was really interesting, and not be as boring as just your regular action movie.
Jason, was it good though?
It was good, but it was good and boring. For the first hour and 50 minutes. The last 20 hit.
No, I thought it was the middle. I thought it was the middle 20-ish.
The whole movie.
You see me?
The whole movie.
No, because it's a slow burn, and like when it comes to certain stuff like that, it's just like we building the tension to get to the point of he got to do it because it was like, well, at this point he got to do it. Well, duh. Hey, after you done got knocked off your bike, done killed your cousin, took your money. Done stripped your neck, you got electrocuted, you done followed the rules of the law, and you still can't. Yeah, at this point, yes, we should.
Yeah, they kept pushing them.
You were hour 30 into the movie. Now you done ran into the judge's house. Like, come on now. Yeah. Everything up until they ran to the judge's house, it was slow. Everything up until that point, it was super slow for me.
Jazz, I know you like this movie. The way the movie ends, though, it kind of just ends, like there's no grand finale. There's no big moment. They ride off. He gets some of the help that she needs. He sits down and he's sitting there thinking, okay, what's next? Could you see a sequel for Rebel Ridge?
No, no, I definitely hope they don't do that. You don't need a sequel to this. Cause I mean, I guess like what's the point? He's going to be on his bike again and somebody's going to run him off the road. Since his truck that he just got bullet holes in it?
There's a lot left though. There's a lot left open to.
You always want to give sequels to movies that don't do like sequels.
I didn't say I wanted a sequel.
But it seemed like he do be like over. He do. He seemed like he was leaning over there.
He really do like.
I just know there's a lot that can be done with a sequel to this movie. Pete Cops covering up information is easy to do. That's an easy sequel.
He can make his way around the country.
Level. Yeah, he can start killing. Like it's so many different things you can do.
I don't want him to start killing. What do you mean there's no end? Like he has a shootout with the police where the police are literally shooting at him and he's just going around disarming them. But then it's like a cathartic moment because they're trying to get away, but they're being chased down by the whole squad led by. You didn't even talk about the crazy lieutenant major or whoever the chief. The chief, there we go. I didn't know what the rank was.
You gave him everything.
I know. Played by Don Johnson, who literally was just like, I mean, he played this role too good. I'm like, where's your hood, sir?
He's from Kansas, so I knew. I knew the moment they said he was from Kansas. I said, okay, that's all I need to know.
Too good, and So it's cathartic because Don Johnson is trying to get his whole station to take out,
Summer.
Summer and the informant. And the black lady does come through because her and the rest of the squad take out the chief.
That's
They're
the other
like,
twist.
okay, yeah, that is the other twist. They're like, okay, we can't do this anymore. He's too corrupt for us. Like he's just too
He didn't go
much
too
for
far.
us.
Yeah,
And
limits.
so they take him out. Yeah, and then they're able to ride off into the sunset. Hey, it was something I had never seen before.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I say it's not an ending because you're right. They kind of ride off into the sunset, but they really don't. He stops.
Yeah.
He lets her out at the hospital. Like, all right, here you go, and then he just sits there. We don't find out like,
That's true.
does he get where he's going? Is he have another? Where was like? Because I mean, remember his whole thing was me and my cousin about to go start a new life. We're about to get this truck. We're about to do X, Y, Z. Truck full of bullet holes. Cousin's dead. What's next? And so I feel like if you wanted to, Jazz, this could be our next big action star. I know you want to see this man shirtless again.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think he's very talented.
If he wasn't here, Jazz, this would be The Rock.
And honestly, it wouldn't be as fun if it was The Rock.
No. Ew, I don't even want to think about that. But it's just like the seriousness that Aaron was able to bring to this role. Because like the scene between him and the sheriff, and he was just like breaking down his skills. And so I was just like, the energy between them, I was like, "Ooh, I know he just want to choke him out." I'm like,
that was a really good scene of tension building.
Yeah,
because like while they're out there talking, the two minions are in the like they're like Google McNack, Google that.
And he was trying to go out there like, Chief, get some distance. And then when he grabbed his gun, he was like,
Yeah.
I said, yes, black man. But yes, let him be the next big action star. I would love to see him in so many different projects. Because I think he could play a good action hero, like something like we saw here, but then also a great villain. Because he gives me Scar vibes. I know y'all see it.
Funny you should say that.
Funny that you mentioned that, right?
Isn't he the voice to the new movie that's coming out?
Jason's favorite movie, yeah. Mufasa.
He's gonna be Mufasa in the new Mufasa movie.
Jason, I know you're lining up to go see that.
I'm not actually. No. Lining up to go see Lion King? No. Why would I do that?
No, it's not the Lion King. It's Mufasa.
It's Mufasa. Why would I do that? I mean, it didn't change. It didn't change. No, that didn't change.
Because
Black Panther, it's right.
Because Beyonce and Blue Ivy's gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
Go support.
They are. They was in the first one.
Why would I lie?
Right?
Because they're down the line. Why would they be in this? Who are they in this?
Nala was around.
They're the same people. Nala was definitely around. Blue Ivy probably not. I mean, Blue Ivy.
Nala dated Simba, right?
Yes.
She's right. Safari.
Why would she be around for Mufasa?
Because from what I understand, it's gonna be like a sequel and a prequel. Like it's
like a flashback, flash forward situation.
Yeah.
You know, we telling the past story, but we moving the plot along. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Anything to keep Beyonce in this, that's it.
Jason won't be there.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think it's gonna be like loosely based on the second movie. I think. Okay. Yeah, because Blue Ivy plays Kiara.
Okay, so yeah, everybody's in this one.
Simba and Nala's daughter from Lion King 2. And Lion King 2 is my shit.
Oh yeah.
Deception.
It's great. Look, get into it. Yeah. Mufasa coming soon. Probably more projects from Aaron Pierre coming soon. Hopefully, we'll see. And a lot more movies and TV and other, Black media to talk about in the next coming weeks, obviously. But until then, Jazz, Jason, it's been great having y'all. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. We always have a good time. We wasn't against each other on this episode. I'm glad, because last time...
Yeah, me and you was aligned.
Yeah, it was...
Oh, the two of you. Okay, I was like, because y'all was definitely...
Jason, thank you for being here as well.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me. Nice meeting you, Mari.
Yes.
Definitely gotta do this again.
Yes.
Anytime.
Mari, you don't know this, but they had an Insecure panel without us. I mean,
that's
showed
what
up.
I heard. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Niggas gonna lie, boy.
They had it was supposed to be the four of us. It was supposed to be the four of us, but you know what I'm saying. We'll allow it.
He put a JD Vance. Wow, that's crazy.
Jason
It's
been
okay.
eating pet.
That's what she called it.
All that to say, thank y'all again. It's been great. Tell us, please, and the listeners again, where they can find you and what y'all have going on.
Yes, we are the Was It Good Though podcast, the podcast about movies and TV shows. We drop every Tuesday. Of course, you can go find us on Instagram, Twitter. You can find the podcast. So wherever you may stream or listen to podcasts, you can also get visuals on our YouTube page. Again, the Was It Good Though podcast. You will see me, you will see Jazz. It's not hard, man. You can find us. We drop every Tuesday. I think we dropped today. It's Tuesday. We dropped the Crow. We did our 2024 Crow review. Trash. Next week, we got Next week is Beetlejuice. Next week's a Beetlejuice or Skeleton Key. I fucked up somewhere in between there. So one of them gonna come out next week. It don't matter what it is. No, The Watchers. I'm tripping. We doing a double feature. We talking about The Watchers and Trap. That's in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm fucking up all the way. These next 2 weeks.
You named 6 different movies.
Yes. Okay. So next Tuesday, we doing a double feature movie. We doing Trap and The Watchers. It's a M. Night Shyamalan and his daughters. We're talking about their movies, comparing them, and saying, was it good though? In the end of it, we're gonna find out how we feel about it.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to have y'all back on the kickback for spooky season because I'm the outlier here. All y'all are weird and y'all like scary stuff. You know, that's not, I'll suffer through it, but it ain't my bag. I know y'all like to talk about the scary movies, and so October's coming. It'd be great.
It's my bad.
So Mari, you like horror movies?
Horror movies and comedies are that's my top 2 genres.
What's the last horror movie you saw?
I'm halfway through Trap. I have 2 kids, so the only movies I have been seeing in theaters are Despicable Me, Mario movie, stuff like that.
Good.
So we watched. Yeah, we're halfway through Trap. We watched. It's right there. Vampire, not Abigail. Abigail.
Oh yeah, Abigail.
We
the
watched
Ballerina
that.
Vampire.
The Ballerina Vampire. We watched that. And then we watched The Deliverance.
That counts.
That counts. That's a horror movie.
I'm sorry you did
and
that.
then I know. We got great content out of it.
Great content.
And
what's your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, because I believe these two, these are the Scream enthusiasts on the panel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It's Scream.
So my favorite scary movie of all time, I think, is a pretty deep cut. It's called 13 Ghosts.
That's my shit.
13 Ghosts.
That's my shit. That's my favorite game.
I mean,
I don't know.
Like
There's a lot of people that don't know. That don't know that movie. I love that movie. I think I like it. I don't care. That's his. I think I like the DVD version. I had the DVD version going up, so I had all the backstories of all the 13 ghosts, and I just that was my favorite part of it. It was there's actually lore built around each ghost, and I remember me and my brother would stay up and watching those stories and scare ourselves. Those stories were like scarier than the movie, kind of. So, but I love that the lore of it all and world building. So
yeah,
that's my pick.
We'll have to have y'all back so we can talk about all the spooky stuff. Mari, what do you have going on, and where can people find you?
Well, me and Sarah Kettering have been doing True Crime Tuesdays over on RHAP for the Crime Scene podcast. You can go to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed to see all of our crime scene, to listen to all of our true crime review podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. So that you can catch when I do Big Brother stuff. I've been covering Big Brother 26 on the Rob Has a Podcast Network, and so it's been a lot of fun. My Twitter is dedicated to Big Brother right now, so just go there and you'll know whenever I'm doing that. That's it for me. Chappell, what about you?
You can catch me here, obviously, every week, trying to bring new content here for Recap Kickback and recapping the media of the week. We're going to try that for a little while, see if that format works. But also, you can catch me on the Nothing But Netflix podcast. We talk about Netflix shows, Netflix movies, whatever's popping on Netflix. And I think in 2 weeks, Mari, you'll be joining me on Nothing But Netflix to talk about the Vince McMahon documentary. I think we'll be talking about, it's a 6-parter docu-series. And so we're going to be bringing in our wrestling expert here, Mari, and her co-host Matt to come on and talk to us about that. That should be a good time. And then, obviously the Big Brother coverage that I'm also doing on RHAP. And we're wrapping up this season of Below Deck Med on our Bravo coverage over there on RHAP. So a lot coming your way soon, but you keep up with all of that and more by following on Twitter at Recap Kickback. Make sure you subscribe on all social media platforms and on all podcast platforms to the podcast, and here on YouTube, youtube.com/@recapkickback to keep up with all the stuff we have going here so you don't miss anything at all. But that's about it for Jazz, for Jason, for Mari, and for myself. You ain't got to go home, but you definitely got to get the hell up out of here. We will be back next week with more Recap Kickback. Until next time, peace.
I've been trapped behind Chappell Mari, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreamers. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.